Right guys, I'm absolutely delighted to finally get John Higgins, the Wizard of Wishart, one of the greatest players of all time, on the channel. Thanks very much for doing this.
Oh listen, for privilege now, I've been waiting for you to ask me, so I'm delighted I'm back on it. Well, I'm not back on it, I'm delighted.
I'll let you break.
Right, no worries.
When was the last time we played? Was it the World Championship?
World Championship.
I beat you. It was a bad match though, wasn't it?
Very bad. Have we ever played a good match? But I was actually thinking about it.
That's true, yeah.
Because I think, I've always probably looked up to you too much, but I don't think, I was thinking about it always.
Yeah.
I never think we ever played a good match. We've played in finals and...
Yeah, I know.
But,
I'm going to rack my brains. I'm going to rack my brains before you break off. I want to say, was the UK final a good match?
It was exciting, I think.
Deciding frame?
Deciding frame, all I can remember was...
I played a long ball and cleared up.
9-8 in front and then not getting a shot in the last two frames. He beat us 10-9. Yeah, that was...
I mean, I don't even know how many times we played. We've obviously hundreds of hours in practice, but...
Okay. No, we did. I don't think we played a lot because obviously we were... Well, you were obviously higher ranked than them when I was coming through. But I don't think we played as much as we could have played, I don't think. But always a privilege. Always a privilege.
So where's your game at the moment? Are you happy with your game at the moment? Yeah, I mean, like this will go out later, but we're in the middle of the champions. You've played obviously really well in the first match.
I played really good. I played obviously Chris Wakeland. He struggled a little bit, but it's tough, isn't it? Best of sevens coming into this environment. I think it was Chris's first time playing in this event. Right. So, but then against Ding, I thought I played pretty well. I had 6-1 visits, which is good going. But no,
are you still enjoying it?
I love the competing side of it, Stephen.
Practice side, not you don't
practice side. It's harder as you know, getting older.
Yeah,
it's harder, especially putting in hours on your own.
Yeah,
and as you know, we've got the facility up in Scotland, me, Stephen, and Ants. So it's always good when you're in there, and a lot of the other boys come in and give you a game as well. So
yeah, because obviously, obviously I've known you for so long, and we used to do. Being
the usual.
We used to be in the club for like 5-6 hours a day and stuff. Those days are long gone, right?
Well, I still probably about 3 or 4 days a week. Probably don't play at weekends.
Okay.
I'd maybe play at the weekend, obviously coming up to the tournament.
Well, but just too straight. I'm using my new cue here.
I know. How is it? Is it good?
It's nice. I mean, there's so much power in it. I find it's like effortless to do the screw shots and everything.
I've always wondered. I know. I mean, we've had discussions. Me and you, especially like you and Ken.
Yeah.
You've had 2 of the worst cues on the tour.
I know.
And I really do not. I mean, I've changed it a few times.
Yeah.
And I don't think we are blessed with great cue power. Me, you, Ken, the older generation maybe compared to the younger ones. But I think you need every bit of cue power you can get.
Absolutely.
And I've never understood, especially Ken. Ken's is the worst cue I think on the tour.
How many? Because you're quite famous for the tinkering with the cues, aren't you? How many cues do you reckon you've had in your career?
I've not had a lot.
But maybe you adjust the same cue, don't you?
I can adjust it mid-tournament.
What kind of rest is that?
I know, it's one of these things. But listen, the story, famous story in my own head was I was playing the first round at the World Championships one year, remember Graham Horn?
Yeah. And
I was 3-1 down to Graham. And Laurie Annandale, who obviously you know used to do all your tips and things. I says to Laurie at the mid-session interval, Laurie, you get your saw with you? He's like, why? He says, can you saw an inch off my cue? Sure enough, that's what he done.
In the middle of the match?
In the mid-session interval.
I didn't know that.
He sawed an inch off my cue. He says, I says, yeah, just an inch. And I was 3-1 down, in the next frame I went out, I think I've made 135 or something. So listen, I know it's probably been all in my head.
That's mental.
An inch off my cue mid-session at the Crucible.
But you're happy with the...
I like this.
Yeah, right.
This is a Tom Param from Thailand.
Right.
It's a nice cue, nice.
Because are you the first or the only one to use a titanium ferrule?
I use a titanium ferrule. I think a few of the players do now. Obviously, I think first I've seen Steve Maguire obviously in the unit using it. And then I think a lot of the boys now, like Kyron Wilson, Mark Allen, Stephen.
And what's the benefit of the no throw?
No, very little throw, less throw.
Right, okay.
Less throw. And I think a lot of the boys, whenever you're getting the tip, getting it re-tipped, obviously you can lose a little bit of diameter with the wood.
Right, okay.
But just with the titanium ferrule, that will stay the same.
Okay.
Because it's a lot more durable, I think it is.
Okay. And also the sort of the Japanese tips, you were one of the first people to go with them as well, weren't you?
Well, it was Steve Davis put us onto that. Steve at one of the tournaments. I think I was asking him what sort of tips he was using at the time, and I think obviously Steve was a good positional shot by the way. Steve at the time was playing in the 9-ball pool. Yeah. And I think he was trying out the Kamui and he says, John, these are really good tips, and
oh my God.
Really good tips. Yeah. And everyone that you put on, they sort of play the same right away. I have, but I don't play with a layered tip now. I play with it's like a triple crown. Right. It's just a compressed tip, something similar to like an Elkmaster. Yeah, right. So.
What age were you first picked up a cue?
Well, obviously it's the same old story, isn't it? The 6-foot table for your Christmas. Right. But first time I think it was in a 12-foot table, about 9. 9? Aye, about 9.
That's young.
9 and a 12-foot, and it was obviously, remember Jim Donnelly had the club in Wishaw.
That's right, yeah.
And then about a year later, you came to do an exhibition there, and I played you in an exhibition. I think you gave me 21 start. I think you just won the Scottish Professional. Right. I think you beat Matt Gibson in the final.
That's right.
And I was 10. So what age are you? You're 7 years older than me?
I'm 54, yeah. Were you 48?
So I'm 48. Aye. So you must have been 16, and I was 10, and you gave me 21, and I beat you in the black. So I did.
God, I was 60. I mean, 40 odd years ago. Man, that's unbelievable. When did you start? When did you come to Spencer's?
Came to Spencer's. I didn't want to come to Spencer's. Yeah. Obviously, that was at the time.
Spencer's, by the way, is the club where I used to practice.
That's obviously when I signed with Ian. Yeah. Obviously, it was just after I'd won the Meter Masters, the under 16 event.
That's right. Yeah.
I was managed by Big Tommy Heenan, who obviously was looking after Alan at the time. I didn't want to come up, and it was Ian that approached my mum and dad, saying, "Look, I think I can obviously help young John out, blah, blah, blah." I was like, I'm not interested, Dad. I want to stay in Glasgow, I want to stay with my mates. But my mum and dad could probably see the benefits of going with Ian, the top manager at the time, and then the added bonus was I could have been playing with you a few days a week. Right. So that was the clincher. So that was, that was amazing. That was amazing coming up and playing with yourself.
I mean, we used to have so many laughs. I mean, obviously in that club, Billy Snadden was in there. Elaine Robidoux. I mean, the amount of times we just crack up laughing with Elaine Robidoux. It was so just funny. So funny. I used to remember the routine, like you'd maybe play for a couple of hours on your own in the morning, have lunch, watch Neighbours, and then have a game in the afternoon.
You wouldn't go on until you'd seen Neighbours. You wouldn't go on. I mean, I wasn't really bothered about Neighbours. It was more Dallas. It was my sort of soap. But Neighbours.
I know I was obsessed then.
10 to 2. You would say, right, let's get back on. And
I was on the dot. Because Ian used to come through and wonder, what are you doing, boys? And I was like, watching Neighbours.
watching Jason Donovan. That's what it was. But yeah, great times. Obviously, Billy and Elaine. And
so obviously, we obviously played. I don't know. Was it 2? How many years would you be with Ian playing there?
I must have played there 2 years.
Yeah. So obviously, you made a decision to leave.
Yeah.
Why was that? I mean, was it you just wanted to get away from me, or get away from like? No, but I mean, like obviously, because obviously everything was about me, basically, wasn't it? Yeah. So and I actually thought it was the right decision. You did it completely the right decision.
The catalyst it was listen, Ian could have his faults and things but the catalyst, I think, the one catalyst was, I think, the very first time I beat Steve Davis, I was in Dubai, at the Dubai duty free. That was in 1994. Yeah. And the first time I beat Steve, I was buzzing. I came off, beat him 5-4, and the first words Ian said to me was, "That was a great result for Stephen." That's what he said to me. That's what he actually said.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, what? He says, because obviously you and him were vying for number one at the time.
Right.
And in that moment, I just says, I need to get rid of this nutter, you know what I mean?
But I had huge respect, because I thought that you had, for your career, that's what you had to do.
Aye.
Absolutely.
And then, about 2 months later, I think I went to the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And I won it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the cat. Obviously, I might have won it even if I stayed with me, and who knows. But that was the one thing. I just says I need to get out of this environment. But it was invaluable. It really was for the 2 years. God, I picked out so many balls for you for those 2 years. It was tough some days, but it was great.
When did you? Because obviously we go on about the class of '92 all the time. Yeah. Yourself, Mark, and Joe. When did you first meet Mark and Ronnie?
At that meet of Masters.
Oh, right, okay.
What was it? Aye. Oh, no, I tell a lie. I got into the Scottish team when I was about 15.
Right.
I was never really any good as a junior.
Right.
It was only really that summer when I was turned 15 that I went into Glasgow to play with Alan.
Yeah.
And all the top amateurs, Marcus Campbell, Paul McPhillips, David McClellan, all the boys. And within about 3 or 4 months I got really good. Right. So then I managed to get into the Scottish junior team and went down to Prestatyn in Portons. Right. And that's when I first seen Ronnie and Mark. Right. Obviously Ronnie's in the English team, Mark's in the Welsh team.
Did you play each other much in juniors, or is it?
That was the first time I'd ever seen them, or the first time I'd ever played them. Obviously, I think Ronnie had played with Mark since they were about like 10 or 11. Right. And they'd never heard of me. They'd heard of Jamie Burnett more. Right. Jamie was obviously, he was like on a par with the boys, because Jamie was a brilliant junior. Yeah, yeah. But then, so Scotland won the junior team. We beat England and Wales in the team event. Then I think it must have been about 2 months later, the Meet of Masters was on, the junior event. Yeah. And then I've played Ronnie in I think it was the quarterfinals, and I beat him on the tie break. Right. And he burst out crying. Oh, it was hilarious. So he started crying. He started crying. His dad was over there. And obviously Ronnie was probably expected to win it or even get the final or something. Right. But I beat him on a deciding tie break or something. And he burst out crying. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's crying. Guy with a beard and everything, he's crying. But and then I played Mark in the final and beat Mark 6-1. So I won £5,000 up there. Wow. And it was a funny story, we still talk about it, because then I've played Mark a week later. I've got to the final of the British under-16s against Mark. Right. And he beat me 4-0 and he got £200. So I've got the £5,000, he got 200. But then obviously he's got me back since we've been professionals. But no, obviously when I seen those two guys, they're obviously two amazing players, aren't they? I mean, what would you say, like, if you had to say, like, the three is, what was your, if you had an attribute that's better than the other two, or what would you say the three players' best attributes are? I would say Ronnie, as I said, the first time I seen Ronnie at Prestatyn, I just knew he was just a wonder kid. I just knew he just the way he had the ball. Yeah, I think I played him, I was world champion, I played him when he was 14 or 15, yeah, you could tell. He was just special, still is to this day, obviously. But Mark, he's just became the best shot maker, I think, probably the game's ever seen. I think obviously now he's a crowd favourite with everybody. But the temperament as well, would you say? He's so clever as well. Yeah. He's up there with Selby. I know O'Sullivan's got a great tactical game. Selby. I thought you said Matt Selby. Oh well, Matt's okay now. Matt, he'd tell you that himself. But absolutely. And he plays himself down, but but he comes away with all this part of, I shouldn't be named it. I know. It's obviously Ronnie's been chasing records of you and Steve, and I would say me and Mark, our careers have been pretty similar. Just a privilege, obviously, growing up with two guys. Definitely. I mean, I would say in terms of, like, maybe Ronnie's got the cue ball control, maybe. I mean yours is immaculate as well, but I mean I just think. I don't know, there's just that wee bit, I don't know how to explain it. I think your match play, I think, is the best of the three. I think if I had to put my house on someone to make a clearance from 50 odd behind the last four reds, I'd have you every day of the week. I know. Twice on Sunday. People say that, but like... I've just seen it so much, even working in the punt, I've seen it so many times.
And I'd say Mark for temperament.
Great champions, everybody winning tournaments now that you've got to do clearances.
Everyone do, but you're sort of nitpicking to see who's got something better than the other. But I mean, listen, all three under pressure have been like unbelievable.
Aye, no, listen, too great, too unbelievable. Champions.
Would you say you were friends with them?
No. Respect them, obviously. Unbelievable. Ronnie, I don't think really gets close with anyone on the tour now.
Right.
I don't know when that started, because I don't think he was ever like that. Would you have said that when he was growing up? Like when he was on the tour, he was
he's never been an easy person to get close at, and I don't think he wants to, and that's his.
Yeah.
You've always chatted to everyone, haven't you?
Just the way I am.
I know. You can't change who you are. I mean, I wasn't like that.
No.
But you are who you are.
I've heard you say that, right?
But I kind of manufactured it a little bit, I think.
I know, but listen, I wasn't on the tour when you first came on in 85, 86?
85 I turned pro, yeah.
Maybe you tried to copy Steve Davis, but when I come on the tour in 92, you were civil to everybody. You would sit
I would never blank anyone.
You would play cards with some players and different people, so I didn't get it, but obviously I never seen you at the get-go at the start. Obviously maybe that's when you were maybe a little bit aloof and no speaking to anybody, but
sure. What would you say is your strength over the years, the biggest strength?
I think my strength is I've never really changed as a player, I don't think.
Right.
I don't think I've ever.
No, I mean, I look at your cue action and everything, I don't think it's ever changed through the years.
I think I've played the exact same way, the exact same the tempo.
Yeah.
The exact same shot selection.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever deviated that much.
Right.
And I think there is sometimes I've maybe thought, I'm watching all these other players, they're going to coaches and it's maybe helping them.
Yeah.
But I can always remember Steve Davis saying to me, I was practicing the Crucible one day and he was on one table, I was on another table. And he said to me, John, have you ever had a coach? And I says, no. And he says, never have one. Right. He says, just stick to what you're doing, never have a coach.
I know.
Because he says it could wreck your head.
I think a lot about what would have happened if I didn't have coaches down the years. I mean, I had Frank Callan first, but then certainly near the end, I think it was
Because you had a few, didn't you? Big Dale and then.
Well,
Frank Callan.
Dale came up once, but I couldn't really get grasp what he was. He came up to Scotland once because I didn't even know he was coming up. I'd lost 9-0 to Marcus.
Was that Marcus?
Yeah,
the destroyer?
It was that season, and then I don't know whether it was Ian or John Carroll or someone had arranged for him to come up. Listen, you can take bits from everyone, but Dell was very much like down the slope, up the slope. You know how Ronnie Q's down on the ball, so it was like kind of doing that. And then obviously Chris Hendry, Terry Griffiths. But when they all start telling you different things, by the end I was just like, what cue action will I use today?
As you know yourself, the game's so it's hard enough as
I know,
it is.
exactly.
Never mind having 4 or 5 different thoughts going on in your head.
Oh no, I mean, I'm playing a shot thinking, so how far do I come back for this one, or how? I mean, it's
And you were so natural as well. So I never understood how you were going down that route. Obviously, you might have begun to lose a couple of matches, and you're thinking, I want to change something, but I'm thinking. It was madness, I thought, but well, listen, we all do stupid things, don't we?
4 world titles, isn't it, you've got?
Just the 4, Stephen.
Do you think just the 4? Just the 4. I mean, you lost, was it 3 finals in a row you lost?
Yeah. Who to? Selby, Williams and Trump.
Yeah. I mean, obviously with 3 finals, so obviously you should have won maybe another couple, do you reckon? Or I mean, you've been in an era where the players that are playing, how can you guarantee winning? You know, but I tend to think you should have won.
Listen, my probably best times you would have maybe says would have been roughly after I won the first one, 1998, to when I was about 2007. That was when I won the second one.
Right.
But my career went missing around about 2001.
I was going to say, you lost to Steve in the world, and you lost to me. In the world, where you should never lose to me, Steve, at that stage, should you really?
I know, but that can just be some things going on in your life at that time. But as I said, like from 1998 to 2007, they should have been your best years.
Right.
But I think I went missing in my career from 2001 to 2005. I think I became a dad for the first time.
Right.
I was probably enjoying myself off the table too much.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what I would put it down to.
Right.
That I could still get away with it because there wasn't the volume of players to hinder you. Yeah. But I was.
And I have to give you an apology right now because you won your first world title, and I was like, obviously, practice you and everything, and I didn't even want you to say well done.
I heard you saying that, and that never ever.
But that's
thinking.
Yeah, but that's me being like, I didn't want anyone else to win it. But when I look back now, I think that's just not a nice thing to do. I mean, I should have said. I mean,
you weren't nice, right?
But was that? I know it wasn't. I mean, that's bad, wasn't it? That was bad, wasn't it?
No, but listen, you obviously.
Because I'm like, I was in a way, I was like so proud. Because like you practice with and I like that you maybe picked up a couple of things and then like I just put a text, well done. I'm like
that didn't no, that was fine. That wasn't a great time of your playing career, I would say. And then I think obviously when you get sort of settled to being like a dad again and then I had my second son Oliver after Pierce. And then you begin to say, right, I need to knuckle down here. I can't be going out to the football at the weekends and going out with your mates and going for a few drinks, and then the few drinks the next day you would go back out again the next day. I just had to knock that in the head. Yeah. And then I think that's when my career sort of picked up again. Right. I think because then I've won the second world title in 2007, 2009 and then 2011. Yeah. So that's maybe when you could say you've probably won your three biggest titles of your career around about that time, and you maybe felt as if you've grown up a little bit. Right. Aye. Maybe that's. But I think I've said I'm a better player. I'm a better player than I've ever been. Really? I know people in my eyes. I'm a better player than I've ever been. Right. And what is that down to then? Just technical or just knowing knowing the game? Technical, knowing the game. I think. And maybe not under as much pressure, try to prove to people. Now, I've maybe won what I've won. I might not win again, who knows? But just feel content. Yeah. Just feel content on the table. I mean, that's half the battle. If you're enjoying it, just like feel relaxed. Yeah. Obviously, listen, the pressure gets to you, and I think you know yourself. Once you get a little bit older, I think the pressure gets to you a little bit more than. I want to ask you. I mean, I'm not going to go into any details about. But I mean, the time you had out the game, 6 months. I mean, what was that like? Just like not being able to play snooker? Was that torture? Yeah. Aye, it was as if somebody cut off your right arm. Yeah. And obviously you didn't know if you were ever going to be back again, but you were just hoping. The authorities looked at all the evidence, you looked at everything concerning it, and then I knew they'd come to the right decision. Yeah. Were you still practicing, or no? You just completely went away from it. The cue went away. Really? The cue went away, and it was just to then. Yes, I mean that's to do something that you've done since 9 years old, and all of a sudden you can't. Yeah. But it's one of the things that I have said it openly that the next like 7 months after that, I just put my heart and soul into. I don't know who I was trying to prove. I didn't anything to prove to anybody. Yeah. But I just put my heart and soul into right. I want to try and win every single tournament here. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I remember after you were a different animal on the table. I thought I was starting to blank people. Right. Now that I'd felt as if because people had maybe telling you he's saying this, he's saying that, he's saying this, and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm just going to blank everybody. Yeah. But that wasn't me. Yeah. I put so much into that next 6 or 7 months, and then obviously I lost my dad. Yeah. And then it just after I won the world title, I think I just blew up. I just behind closed doors. You go through a lot of things. And then, was it the first tournament you won after that layoff? Was it the UK against Mark? I think I'd won a few smaller tournaments. Right. Okay. I'd won a few smaller like PTCs. They'd come into the game at the time, hadn't they? And then the UK. Yeah. It was the main one. Obviously, my dad at that point he was not really well. He couldn't even make it down there. Right. Down to Telford where we were playing. Aye, that was emotional sort of thing. And then. But I can even remember we went to a tournament out in China. You were out there. It was an invitation tournament. I think that was in like the the January or the February, and I took my brother Jason out.
Right.
And normally when you go away to the places, you maybe relax, you have
Yeah.
a couple of beers. No, I was like,
Yeah.
go in, practice, go to my room.
Right.
I think my brother would stay up, have a few beers with you and different
Right.
things, but I was like, no, I'm going to win this tournament as well, and I won that tournament.
Right.
And I must have won about 6 or 7 tournaments. And that's how I can appreciate with the likes of you and Steve, single-mindedness, that it nearly killed me putting that effort in.
Right, okay.
That just isn't me.
Right,
That's
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
why
yeah.
I've not
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
went on like dominant runs.
Right, okay.
But I don't know how you guys done it. But just
Yeah.
tournament after tournament, go home,
Yeah.
right, pick the trophy up, practice, right, I want to go and win the next one.
Yeah.
As
I
you
think
said,
that's maybe why Steve and I only had like I mean, Steve dominated the 80s and then sort of fell back a bit, and I dominated the 90s, then started. Why we had that period of dominance, but not the longevity.
Could be.
That like you, or Sullivan, Mark, you're still playing now. You know what I mean? We just put so much into that period of time. We just physically kind of keep going.
100%. I could. That's how I could say I could put myself into your shoes a little bit there for that year. And I think, no way, could not. Oh no.
Because I mean, like you said, my life was to the detriment of everything. My life was snooker, and obviously when you're not playing, then all of a sudden you think, whoa.
I know. It must be hard. I've never had that. No. I've always had the family life.
Yeah.
They're the most important thing to me. So it wouldn't matter if I never win another match. They come first. Snooker always came second or third. Yeah.
And so to me it was like that. It was other way around. And yeah, I mean, you looking back, it's to the detriment of a lot of things, and even you're prolonging your career as well, I suppose.
It's probably it's.
Because I look at you now, I mean, you don't practice as much. You don't. Although you do play in everything, don't you? Ronnie picks and chooses. Robert, you tend to play in everything, don't you?
That's what I'm saying. Like my mates, Marcus Campbell's of this world. I'm still friendly with on David McClellan. They all work. So I can't even go golfing with them.
I seen Marcus in Mallorca. Like,
I know. I heard.
Couldn't believe it.
Was he talking about 9-0? Was he talking about the 9-0 score?
Listen, every time I see him, I'll remember it. Don't worry. Whenever I see his face, all I think is 9-0. But no, I was walking in Mallorca, and I walked past, and like it was these Scottish guys, and I could tell they'd had a few drinks, and I'm trying to like don't recognise me, you know what I mean? Because I'm in the morning and they're having a few. You think like, and then I walked back and I was like, oh my God, Marcus.
I know. He was. That's one of his haunts out there.
Yeah. I remember he did a hole in one when I was in China.
That's right. It was me, you, Alan, and Marcus.
That's right.
And Marcus had a hole in one at the signature Faldo course.
That's right. Yeah, that was someplace
out in Shenzhen.
Yeah.
Shenzhen.
I have to mention one of the best times I remember we had was the world team.
Amazing.
In Thailand.
Amazing.
That was, I mean, what a 2 weeks we had there. What a ball. I mean, to win. I mean, Scotland don't win many World Cups.
No.
You know what I mean, but
I think
me, you, Alan, and Snazza.
I think it started because we went and done a photo shoot at Hampden, didn't we?
Right.
Now you didn't know where Hampden was, obviously, with a Hearts fan. so me, you, and Alan, we got to change into the Scotland strips and have a kickabout in Hampden. I think like a week before we went out, and then we went out there. And 2 weeks the tournament was on for, wasn't it? The first week we knew we couldn't fail because we were in a group.
Yeah.
With Iran and Iraq and whoever else. But then it got to the second week where it became quite tense. Yeah. We got to play Northern Ireland in the quarter. You'll not remember it. We got to play Northern Ireland in the quarter-finals.
Yeah, right. I remember beating Ireland in the final. That's all I remember. But
we beat Northern Ireland in the quarter-finals, and then me, you, and Alan went out for a meal.
Right.
And we ended up getting into a bar. And Thailand were playing Wales.
Oh yeah, and the whole music stopped because Watana was playing.
Remember, because Watana was playing Williams in the deciding frame. We were obviously.
What do you mean we went to a bar? We were in our bed early every night.
No, we went to a bar. And Watana was playing Williams in the deciding frame. So obviously we were wanting Thailand to win because they were an easier team. Thailand won. The bar just went berserk, didn't it? Went berserk.
It was.
And then we beat Thailand, and then it was Republic in the final, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why I mentioned that, I'm just leading up to the story after the night after the final.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to repeat the story. So we've obviously celebrated, haven't we? I'm first to go to bed.
You lasted.
I had a few, but I just thought
I 3 or 4.
Yeah, and then.
But me, Alan, and Billy, we lasted to about the morning. We lasted to about 7 or 8. And then.
I mean, look at the work you got in this queue.
What about the work on that there?
Yeah, because you were down at the pool and everything, weren't you?
You were down at the pool. My mum actually must have looked out. My mum and dad were out at the tournament, weren't they? So they had a great time. And my mum must have got up in the morning, she looked out the window, she pulled the curtains back.
Oh my God.
Stephen,
oh my God.
She pulled the...
Get used to this queue, this.
She pulled the curtain back and all she seen was me and Alan. I've got the Lion Rampant draped over me and he's got the St Andrew's flag draped over us. My mum could see now the sun was beginning to start scorching, so she came running down, put the sun cream and everything on us, and then woke us up, and then I think we started partying again.
Oh, no. And then because I had the room with a big corridor, and I'm sort of sleeping, and then all I hear is like laughing, but I think I'm dreaming it. I don't know whether I'm dreaming it or not, but I can hear laughter, and I can hear just voices, and then like I just looked out. I woke up, I looked out, and you 3 were at the end of the bed, and I absolutely myself. I was like, I went under the covers to try and save myself. I was like, whoa.
You thought there was a robber?
I didn't know who it was.
Oh, that was.
But I remember we
so
flew home that night, and Sue Pollard was on the flight.
Hi.
Yeah, and you were still pissed, and you were shouting, "Hi, hi, hody ho."
Oh, it was just because Dennis was wanting to go up and just sit and speak to her and have a wee chat, but I was obviously still party mode. Yeah, I was still party mode.
This could be the long. I just want you to clear up because I'm.
What's the score? We're not keeping scores.
Well, I don't think so, but
the scores are.
I'm kind of struggling.
Scores are out the window.
I'm kind of don't know what I'm doing with this cue. Where to aim? That was nice. That was
Deja
nice.
vu.
That was nice.
Deja vu. I know you say it's not a comeback, obviously, that you're on. Is it? Do you think using the new cue? Do you think it'll help you? Do you know what? It'll give you an impetus to practice maybe a little bit more.
It's one of the reasons I went with Stephen Feeney's site right.
Yeah.
To sort of give me a reason to sort of practice and work on something.
Yeah.
Because I thought if I just go in and go through the motions, it'll be no good. And then, obviously, I've been thinking about a new cue for a while because my cue's so bent. The honest answer is, I don't know, John, because I don't know how long I can take playing the way I am in qualies. And it's not the most, you've been to some of the venues, it's not the most inspiring places to go in there. You're playing in front of no people, and if you're not practicing, not just solo practice, but if I'm not doing any match practice, the match practice is when I get to a qualifier. And like if you play on your own for 2 hours, you're no missing, you're getting shots all the time. If you're going 10, 15 minutes where they're getting a pot, you need to get used to that, don't you? And it's just so I don't. The honest answer, I don't know how long I'll stick it. I'll keep it at it. Oh yeah, good. Because I know you've mentioned that you don't think I should be doing it, didn't you?
I just who am I to say, but especially playing a shot like that. But it's just when you said, obviously, when you packed in at the get-go, you wouldn't want to do the PTC side of it and things, and I respected that. I'm thinking, well, he's walked out at the top and he's not really wanting to do it, and it's not a good shot. But listen, you're a long time retired, aren't you?
I know, but I understand, because when I'm playing matches, sometimes I'm thinking, what am I doing? You know what I mean? What am I doing? But this will be funny because I'm going to try and play with this unbelievable side. I don't know what this will do. Oh, it worked.
I'm not sure. Because you've done that with your old cue?
I don't think so.
No.
Look at that for a shot.
I know
There's no any other shot. That's the one to keep on this. That was good. There'll be none of yours on this. That was good. Who do you? So who in the game do you look like? Obviously, there's great players, but I mean, who do you really think? Wow, he's. I mean, Ronnie's the obvious, but Trump and all that. Do you think taking it to?
I think I've said it quite openly. I think guys like Selby, Trump, Robertson. People go on about me, Sullivan, Williams. I would class those 3 guys on a par. I mean, I think one of them just walked in there, but I never seen him when he walked in there. But
you're missing it. See your clearance last night. This is honestly.
But no, incredible players, incredible champions, and doing it during this era. I think because I think the standard. I know you maybe don't agree, but I think the standard nowadays is.
Oh God! I missed the pot, but I got the knuckle.
I think.
No, the standard.
I think it's incredible. I think the standard. I mean, you seen Barry the other night there. He got 98% pot success.
You never used to see anything like that. I mean, it's like
no.
I mean, I've played obviously well in the night, some great matches and stuff, but I doubt I was ever 98% pot success.
I know. But that's just the norm.
Yeah.
That's just the norm with a lot of the top boys. Yeah. So you've just got to try and get into that mindset that that's what you've got to produce. Oh, you've got to keep that in, no?
Talk about you being the best safety player in Ireland. That's ours. Right, let's see what's.
Sure.
But I've got them too much.
But there is other great champ now. I'm ready to play him. Mark Allen, Sean Murphy. Now, God, there's so many unbelievable players nowadays. Black ball. I didn't go for that. That was actually a safety there, Steve.
Was it? Okay.
That was a safety.
See when you get a respotted black, when you win the toss, why do people not play? I played it in my recent qualifier. People still put the other guy in when it's such an easy shot.
Did you play it side to side?
Yeah.
I don't know how people used to do it up and down.
It's unbelievable.
What like, are they mad?
Exactly, unbelievable, isn't
it? They must have been mad. They must have been mad. I went through a phase where I was doubling it.
Well, just stunning the cue ball as a cushion.
Like up and down, like a double. Try and leave the white, but that's the wrong shot into it as well. So. Pleasure. Thanks, Stephen. Cheers, mate. Thank you.